Oh, no, so what I did with those is you guys signed them. Did you find
that home or that dog you found?
That's yours.
Oh, is that, yeah. But no one claimed? No. Maybe. Yeah. Cute.
No, unless you want to speak. You want to speak?
Say hi there. I said, we're good. No problem. So did that 2 hour help running away? So that was good.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, it worked out.
Oh, definitely.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call to order our regularly scheduled city commission meeting Tuesday, July 9th at 6:01 p.m. Our roll call, city clerk.
Mayor McCutcheon.
Present.
Vice Mayor Varian.
Present.
Commissioner Scow.
Present.
Commissioner Williams.
Here.
Commissioner Watts.
Here.
We'll now have our invocation and our pledge. Invocation by Vice Mayor Varian, followed by our pledge to the flag. Would you all please stand?
Father, we come to you now in Jesus' name to tell you thank you for today, God. This is the day that you have made, so we will rejoice and be glad in it. Father, we've done or said anything displeasing in your sight, God. We ask that you will forgive us. Make us ready to stand before your people, oh God, with a clean conscience and a pure heart. God, to do the will of the commission, oh God, on behalf of the city of Fort Meade. I pray that things go smoothly, God, that we work together, Lord God, to achieve all goals. God, we thank you and we give you glory, honor, and praise. For it's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen. Amen.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Moving on to item D, are there any additions and or deletions to tonight's agenda?
Madam Mayor, we have two additions, M01 and I05.
Is there a motion to add these items?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add items M1 and I5. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item E, our proclamation and presentation / awards. We have several this evening, and we'll start with proclamation, City of Fort Meade. Whereas Disability Pride Month commemorates the passing of the Americans with Disabilities Act by Congress July 26, 1990, a landmark civil rights law that prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities in all areas of public life. And whereas approximately 1 in 4 Americans live with a disability, forming a diverse community that includes people of all ages, races, ethnicities, and backgrounds. And whereas individuals with disabilities have made and continue to make significant contributions to the social, cultural, and economic fabric of Fort Meade and society at large. And whereas Disability Pride promotes the understanding that disability is a natural and beautiful part of human diversity, to be embraced and celebrated rather than pitied or hidden. And whereas Fort Meade is committed to fostering an inclusive environment where all individuals, regardless of ability, can participate fully in all aspects of society. And whereas we recognize the ongoing need to remove barriers, challenge stereotypes, and promote equal opportunities for individuals with disabilities in education, employment, housing, and public spaces. Now therefore, be it resolved that I, Katrina McCutcheon, Mayor of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, and the City Commission, on behalf of the residents and businesses of Fort Meade, do hereby proclaim the month of July 2024 as Disability Pride Month. City of Fort Meade proclamation. Whereas the Atlantic hurricane season officially begins on June 1st and ends on November 30th each year, and whereas the City of Fort Meade is committed to ensuring the safety and resilience of our community in the face of potential hurricane threats. Whereas being prepared for hurricanes and other natural disasters is crucial for the protection of life and property, and everyone can prepare for hurricanes by doing 6 very important steps. 1, review and update their family emergency plan. 2, assemble or restock their disaster supply kits. 3, familiarize themselves with local evacuation routes and shelter locations. 4, take steps to protect their homes and properties from hurricane damage. 5, stay informed about weather conditions and emergency instructions. 6, assist neighbors, especially the elderly and those with special needs, in preparing for hurricane season. And whereas education, awareness, and preparation are key components in minimizing the impact of hurricanes on our community. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Katrina McCutcheon, Mayor of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, and the City Commission, on behalf of the residents and businesses of Fort Meade, do hereby proclaim the month of July 2024 as Hurricane Preparedness Month. Hope y'all prepared. City of Fort Meade proclamation. Whereas the U.S. House of Representatives has designed July as Park and Recreation Month, celebrating the essential role that parks and recreation facilities play in establishing and maintaining the quality of life in our communities. And whereas parks and recreation programs are an integral part of communities throughout this country, including Fort Meade, Florida, And whereas our parks and recreation facilities provide opportunities for people to connect with nature, gather with friends and family, improve physical and mental health, and engage in enriching activities. And whereas parks and recreation programs enhance our quality of life by contributing to a healthy lifestyle, increasing community pride, fostering environmental stewardship, and promoting social equity. And whereas parks and recreation facilities in Fort Meade make our community an attractive and desirable place to live and work. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Katrina McCutcheon, Mayor of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, and the City Commission, on behalf of the residents and businesses of Fort Meade, do hereby proclaim the month of July 2024 as Parks and Recreation Month. City of Fort Meade proclamation. Whereas reading is a fundamental skill that enhances knowledge, imagination, and critical thinking. And whereas summer reading programs play a crucial role in maintaining and improving literacy skills among children and adults during the summer months. And whereas the City of Fort Meade recognizes the importance of fostering a love for reading and lifelong learning in our community. And whereas encouraging summer reading helps prevent the summer slide in academic skills and promotes continuous learning. And whereas our local library and educational institutions offer valuable reading programs and resources to all of its residents. Now therefore, be it resolved that I, Katrina McCutcheon, Mayor of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, and the City Commission, on behalf of the residents and businesses of Fort Meade, do hereby proclaim the month of July 2024 as Summer Reading Awareness Month. And lastly, but certainly not least, those individuals from the Fort Meade Child Development Center, would you please come, if there are any here? Would you all please come forward? City of Fort Meade proclamation. It says, whereas the City of Fort Meade recognizes the importance of early childhood education in shaping the future of our community, and whereas the City of Fort Meade Child Development Center has consistently provided exceptional care and education to the children of our community, and whereas the dedicated staff of the Child Development Center have demonstrated outstanding commitment to preparing our children for elementary school and beyond. Whereas Sandra Davis, Director, Sandra Baker, my apologies, Director, Tanisha Williams, Assistant Director, along with Ms. Danita Hutnell, Ms. Eva Benitez, Ms. Patricia Turner, and Ms. Marissa Hernandez have gone above and beyond in their service to the families and children of Fort Meade. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Katrina McCutcheon, the Mayor of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, and the City Commission, on behalf of the residents and businesses of Fort Meade, do hereby proclaim that July 9th, 2024 as Fort Meade Child Development Center Staff Appreciation Day. All right, thank you all for the great work. Thank you, ladies. All right. Moving forward to item F, public forum. Each person addressing the commission. Hopefully by now you have signed in. We accept sign-ins no later than 6:05. Persons shall step up to the microphone, shall give his or her name and address in an audible tone of voice for the record, and unless further time is granted by the commission, shall limit their address to 3 minutes. All remarks shall be addressed to the commission as a body, and not to any member thereof. No person other than the members of the commission having the floor shall be permitted to enter into any discussion, either directly or through the members of the commission. So at this time, do we have anyone that has signed up? Ms. McClure?
I have
Oh, you have it.
Mr. Terry Booker,
Mr. Terry Booker?
Yes.
My name is Terry Bunker. I live at 1017 Indiana Street and was previously your mobile home park. I really don't have anything to complain about. I just, which is unusual, but the question, at one time there was going to be a blue ribbon committee, and I did apply for that, but I never heard any more about it. Is that still in the works, or a blue ribbon committee to, I guess, to promote the positive things in Fort Meade? But I did apply, but I've never heard any more about it.
Not
So-
sure what status it is. You know,
Greg was handling that. I'm not sure the current status of that.
I'll make sure.
But I can get you the information.
Okay, I
Ask the
appreciate it.
question and to get.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Tina Leach,
Tina Leach, 1825 Lakeview Drive, Fort Meade, Florida. I'd like to address the whole commission tonight in saying that y'all constantly bring the charter into discussions, and I just wanted to read a section 12. In a matter within the authority as fixed that the city charter and city manager shall be subject to control by the commission, acting as the board meeting. But no commissioner shall otherwise attempt to dictate or to interfere with a city manager or give orders to any official or employees undertaking in the manner of direct city affairs. And if you shall do so, shall be guilty of misdemeanor. In the addition, shall be subject to removal from city commission. If we know in town what's gonna happen at these city meetings before we get here, we've got an issue. Because saying stuff around town to different people is not what y'all are supposed to be doing. This is all supposed to be done within this chamber, not outside. We need to remember that. And I am totally in awe that you have hired somebody like Mr. Dean with his past. I have researched every single city he has been in. There has been litigations with contractors. He is still, as city manager, sitting in Greenville right now. I called today. They had no idea he was leaving. So I think maybe all y'all that's been talking to him so rapidly and so much need to clarify a few things about exactly what his position's gonna be here. Is he gonna be in this office full time? Is he gonna work both jobs? That's what I'd like to know, because he's just interim up there and has been the entire time. So I think that some decisions need to be made, and some commissioners need to learn that the charter works both ways. It can work in your favor and it can work in our favor. And our vote is what puts you there.
Thank you. That's it? Okay. All right. We will close the public forum at this time. And before moving forward, I'd just like to remind everyone we do have set the quorum for these commission meetings. And if we believe that someone is in violation of that quorum, we will be politely asked to be escorted out. So thank you all for being respectful. All right, item G, approval of minutes.
Madam Mayor.
reflect the exchange that took place at the end of the meeting, in which you explained why you did or did not catch the vote. That's not what makes it. Nor does it reflect the comments made by the interim city manager once the vote is made.
Okay, all right. So you motion that we add those, sir, Mr. Vice Mayor Van?
I move that we accept the minutes as printed with the addition of the last exchange prior to the ending of the meeting.
Okay, for the June 27th meeting?
It was our regular, it was the special meeting. There was exchange where interim city manager Burke said, shame on you, Madam Mayor, then turned around and had to explain her point, and so I want that to be reflected in the minutes.
Why?
So, would you repeat your motion, please, Vice Mayor?
I move that the minutes be amended to reflect the last exchange between interim city manager Burke and Mayor McCutcheon. Second.
Still not out.
June. For the June 27th special.
Thank you, sir. All right, we have a motion on the floor, and a second, is that your second? All right, any further discussion of any necessary amendments? All right, we're ready to vote. All in favor of approval of the meeting minutes to be amended, to reflect comments made by the interim city manager and Mayor McCutcheon for our special meeting June 27th. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-1. All right, item H. Consent agenda.
Resolution number 2024-57, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, appointing members to the Planning and Zoning Board and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, sir. All right, any further discussion on this item about the appointment of planning and zoning board members? Are we? All right, any further discussion on item H1, resolution 2024-57, appointment of planning and zoning board members? None?
Madam Mayor, if I may. Although this is on the consent agenda, this item is actually appointing members to a legislative board. So as part of the approval, just I would read who the appointed members are into the record.
Okay, yes, please. All right.
I can read that if you want me to.
Yes, please, sir.
So the following members are appointed to serve on the Planning and Zoning Board: Thomas Bizanza, Megan Sahara, Curtis Franklin, Vincent Duarte, Richard Cakeson, James Myers, and Raymond Ford as part of the resolution.
Thank you, sir. Any further discussion? All in favor of adopting resolution 2024-57, the appointment of the new planning and zoning board members, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Resolutions.
I think you just went straight to the vote.
I did, my bad. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move we accept item 801.
I'll second that.
All right. Any further discussion?
Well done.
All right, we have a proper motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Melissa. Item I.
Item I2, resolution number R 2024-55. The resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, relating to the provision of stormwater management services in the City of Fort Meade, Florida, establishing the preliminary stormwater assessment rate for stormwater management services for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2024, directing the preparation of an assessment roll, authorizing a public hearing and directing the provision of notice thereof, and providing for an effective date.
Okay. I guess we're all ahead tonight. We jumped one and we went straight to two. That's right.
Yes, we are. I apologize.
It's okay,
That
sir.
would be item I2, so let me reread the right one. Resolution 20-24-58. The resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, establishing the proposed operating millage rate for fiscal year 2024-2025, and setting public hearing dates for the millage rate budget and capital improvement plan, and providing for an effective date.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, City Manager Burke.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is the time of year we set our preliminary, our tentative millage rate. What it is, the city has set it at 8.6306 for the last several years. We know that that's the high end of the range. It's been set that way for the last several years. I did not change that precedent. I stayed with what had been presented in previous years. So we can accept this or we can modify it, depending on the will of the commission.
Thank you, sir. All right. Any additional comments or questions from any members of the commission in regards to the tentative millage rate for the fiscal year 2024-25?
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
This would be for Attorney Powell. With the millage rate being set at 8.6, that means that we cannot go higher than that.
Correct.
If we set it higher, we can always
Correct.
come
You
back.
can always do that.
That's correct. There are special, just to be complete, to answer the question, there are special provisions that if the municipality wishes to go higher than the statutory approved rate, there would have to be certain referendum and passage of it by the public to have that happen for generally a 2-year period. But short answer is you shouldn't go any higher.
Gotcha. You're saying so going higher than the 8.6?
Correct.
Set the millage at a higher number and then.
Right, if you want to go higher than the statutory max, you would have to do that by referendum.
But this is, I don't think 8.6 is the max.
All right, I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question. I thought you were asking if you wanted to go higher than the max, the statutory max.
No, my question is, and only as an area of caution, is if we later on in this process deem that we should have set it higher, my question is, if we start higher than 8.6 in this initially, we can always adjust it down.
That's correct. Yes. That's correct. I misunderstood the
And
other
so,
question.
and the reason why I say that is because we've been made aware of some anticipated costs that currently we are not able to fund. So we should, in my opinion, on 1 and 5, keep that in mind when setting this initial rate, that we can always move it down as we see fit, as we take into account everything that we need to budget for. But to try to do what Attorney Powell just explained to us, to try and, in fact, that we will not need to do so if we foresee a shortfall in budget during budget sessions.
Understood. Vice Mayor Marion, are you proposing a higher tentative millage rate at this time? And if so, if you do propose a higher rate, at this point, I don't know if we'll be able to factor in what that would look like, what that would
And so
amount to.
I was gonna ask that, are we prepared to, what, will we know numbers? Do we have that readily available? What numbers could be at 9% or at 10%?
Well, we can do the simple math on some of this. So we might not be able to get all the numbers, but we can get the probably get the most important ones.
I can go get my laptop so we can do that.
Okay. Is there a rate that you, is there a
Well,
millage rate?
I'm anticipating the error on the safe side. We start at least 10%, and we can't,
Above the max.
that's above the max. What is the max?
It's in your paperwork. I think it's 9.8 something. Should be in the ER full time. No, it's in the, MM, ER full time MM. So the max millage would be, a majority vote, maximum millage rate allowed is 9.3173. Oh, or a 2/3 vote, maximum millage rate allowed is 10.249. So I was wrong.
It would be nice to hear the thoughts of my colleagues regarding that.
I want it to be reasonable, to the point, how that looks on paper. So, I prefer to be somewhere in the middle, mid-range. I don't want to be the lowest, I don't want to be the highest, but mid-range. So for me, I'm thinking of about 9.4. That's what I'm thinking. It would be nice if we had the numbers, but we don't, so.
Man, I think Jennifer has her laptop down.
Okay.
With his numbers.
All right, great.
Madam Mayor, we have some technical challenges. Are we able to table this, come back to it, and once she's got her program pulled up, we can get back to the side?
No problem. All right. Do I need to make a motion to table this and come back? Or we can just come back?
Motion table.
Second.
All in favor of the table item, I-1?
Aye.
Yeah, I-1, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. All right, we will move forward to item I-2.
Resolution number R 2024-55, the resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, relating to the provision of stormwater management services in the City of Fort Meade, Florida, establishing a preliminary stormwater assessment rate for stormwater management services for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2024, directing the preparation of an assessment roll, authorizing a public hearing, and directing the provision of notice thereof, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. All right, interim city manager report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's the time of year where we review our stormwater assessment. There's an anticipated 2.1% increase this year, or next year, which would put the stormwater assessment at $97.20 for the year. That's for your consideration.
All right. All right, any further discussion on item I-2 in regards to our fire assessment? Nobody has any questions tonight? Okay.
How much of an increase is that? I'm trying to find it here. How much of an increase is that, Mr. Burke?
2.1%. And what is it now? 95.60 before? 16 before? It's changed to $2.04 a year.
You heard the commissioner say?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And so for the residents, have we set out any information other than what we okay.
Amen.
All right. So how is this cost reflected for the residents in the city, and where is it reflected?
This goes into the stormwater fund to prepare for drainage, and we hear residents upset when there's a big storm. Streets sometimes turn into rivers,
Right.
and so this would be directed to improve that within the city.
Okay, all right. I'm just asking so that there's
Yes, Madam Mayor.
clarification for the residents to get a full understanding of the why.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, thank you. All right, any further discussion on item I2? All right, can I get a motion?
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the initial stormwater assessment resolution, 2024-55, preliminarily approving the tentative stormwater assessment roll.
All right, there's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, no further discussion. All in favor of adopting resolution 2024-55, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item I3, establishing budget workshop.
Resolution number 2024-56, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, relating to the provision of fire protection services, facilities, and programs in the City of Fort Meade, Florida, establishing the estimated assessment rate for the fire protection assessments for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2024, directing the preparation and assessment role, authorizing a public hearing, and directing the provision of notice thereof and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, sir. Interim City Manager Burke.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We've been discussing the increasing the fire assessment for many months. This is the next step in that process. So this allows us to get the proper notices out. Later on in the meeting, we will have another item that we'll talk about a hardship program for the increase. So later on, we're going to talk about an ordinance that offsets some of these increases for the families that need it.
Okay, awesome. Any further discussion on resolution 2024-56, fire assessment? No further questions or discussion? I'll entertain a motion. You did? You read it? You read the fire budget?
I thought I read the budget workshop.
I didn't say budget workshop, but
He read it. My bad. And I did say 2024-56.
I'm off with the big.
We don't get together tonight.
gathering or something.
It's the heat wave, it's the heat. All right. I entertain a motion to adopt resolution 2024-56, fire assessment.
Madam Mayor, I move that we adopt resolution 2024-56.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. No further discussion. All in favor of adopting resolution 2024-56, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Madam Mayor, Mrs. Snow is ready now if we'd like to revisit I-1.
We will return to item I, resolution 2024-58, in regards to the tentative millage rate. The rate that I was trying to hit the middle, so perhaps maybe 9.45 or something to that effect to see what that looks like for our budget. I do agree that it isn't, it could be proved to be beneficial to start high, because I do anticipate continued projects and programs that need to be covered for the fiscal year, so we'll just see.
That will bring us $1,913,971. And it will raise it 18.79%.
Yes, you're gonna have to, I'm sorry, Ms. Jennifer, no, you're gonna have to come to the mic.
This is gonna die. It's gonna die.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
we can.
Okay. So, let me get my math. With the millage being 9.4500, that will raise it, the percentage will be 18.79%. That will bring in $1,913,971.
Okay.
Jennifer, could you repeat that now, please?
Yes, sir. It's number 18 for the DR 420, and that is $1,913,971.
Thank you.
And you said there was a difference of,
That would raise the millage 18.79%.
okay, gotcha.
Now, last year, we did, the tentative millage was 8.6303, but the millage ended up being set at 8.0.
Right. You took the road back, right?
And those numbers were based on what I just gave you was 9.45.
5.500. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But people need to understand, I think, people need to understand that we can come down once we start the budget process.
All right, thank you, Ms. Knoll. Any further questions? Do we need Ms. Knoll to calculate any additional numbers outside of the 8.636 and the 9.5400? If not, what is the will of the commission at this time? Yes.
Well, you can always come down, but you can't go up once you set it. Once you set it, you can always come down, but you can't go up. So I think that's a good idea, to put it where we won't get in trouble when we do the budget.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Scale. Vice Mayor Baring, any further questions?
No.
All right, so are we going to entertain a motion or a recommendation on the tentative millage rate at this time?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Vice Mayor.
I move that we establish the proposed operating millage rate for the fiscal year 2024-2025 at 9.45.
All right. There's a motion to adopt the tentative millage rate for fiscal year 2024-25 at 9.4500. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a proper motion and a second to set the tentative millage rate. Any further discussion? All in favor of setting the tentative millage rate for fiscal year 2024-25 at 9.4500. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-1. Thank you. All right. Item I4, establishing the budget workshop schedule.
Resolution 2024-59, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, approving the dates and times for the fiscal year 2025 budget workshops, providing for conflict, severability, and an effective date.
Thank you. Interim City Manager Burke.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's that time of year to set budget dates. This resolution would do that. These were proposed based off of last year's calendar dates, so kind of went with the same thing.
Okay. All right. Any further questions in regards to the date, conflicts of interest, anything like that? No questions? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, I move that we accept item I-04.
All right, we have a motion to adopt resolution 2024-59, budget workshop schedule. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a proper motion and second. No further discussion. All in favor of adopting resolution 2024-59, signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item I5, revised Fort Meade Public Library hours of operation.
Resolution 2024-60, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, adopting changes to the hours of operation for the Fort Meade Public Library, providing for an effective date.
All right. How are you? Come on up.
Good evening, Commissioners. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing well, trying to stay cool in the heat. I am here to ask about changing our hours. I know I came to you back in August after we had done our April survey, to change it to the earlier hours. However, I have been tracking the hours since October, and we've had very minimal traffic during that time. And the traffic we do get is like 10 minutes to 8. So I think it would be best if we go back to the 8:30 to 5, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but keep our new Thursday hours. Those have been doing very well.
Thursday hours.
I'm sorry?
For Tuesday and Thursday, you want to maintain 9:30 to 6 p.m.?
Yes, sir.
8 to 5.
8:30 to 5.
8:30 to 5, okay.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That way, most of our traffic now that I've assessed more is in the afternoons when kids get out of school, and we want to make sure that they have the opportunity to come to the library.
Have there been any inquiries about Saturday or Sunday?
There has not been recently. I know when I first started, there was. I did look back at my predecessor's notes. When they did do Saturday hours, there was very minimal traffic, even less than our mornings, which didn't really justify paying the staff to be there. Even when we did have big events, we really didn't have the turnout, unfortunately.
Okay. Any further questions by any member of the commission? Okay. I'm ready to entertain a motion for item 5.
Madam Mayor, I move that we change the recommendation, the hours that have been recommended for our library director. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday, 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m.
There's a motion, proper motion, is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second, no further discussion. All in favor of adopting resolution 2024-60, the revision of the library hours, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, staff has informed me we need to go back to I-1 yet again to establish the public hearing dates for the millage. We have suggested September 10th, 2024, regular city commission meeting.
Okay. All right, so we need to adopt a motion to set the date of the first meeting.
First workshop.
Yes, first public hearing, okay.
Yes. All right, thank you. All right, I entertain a motion to set the date and time for our first public hearing, regards to resolution 2024-58 millage and budget.
So moved.
We don't know what the dates and times are.
I'm sorry.
We need those items to record.
My turn.
September 10th, 2024 for the first public hearing. And it suggested September 10th, 2024 for the first public hearing. And September 24th, 2024 at 6 p.m. as the second and final public hearing.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I entertain a motion.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Did you say September for both of those?
I did.
Yes.
So is that a special meeting or something?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Because, it's,
We have to have that
we have to
prior
have,
to.
we have to have them within so many days of each other.
We always have a special meeting for the second public hearing.
Yeah. All right. All hearts and minds are clear?
Second.
I'm sorry. I need to hear the motion. Commissioner Watts made a motion, but we did not establish those dates and times for the record.
I complete my motion to, now I don't know the dates. Yes. Like I said, our motion to be September 10th, 2024 at 6 p.m. for the first hearing on the village. budget CPA, September the 24th, 2024 at 6 p.m. as the second and final public hearing on the millage.
Thank you, sir. We have a proper motion. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right. All in favor of adopting September 10th and September 24th at 6 p.m. for our first and second readings of our public hearing for our millage budget and CIP, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. The motion carries. Thank you. Now moving on to item J, ordinance 2024-13, establishing the hardship program.
Ordinance number 2024-13, an ordinance of the city of Fort Meade, Florida, amending chapter 10.5 of the Code of Ordinances, establishing a hardship assistance program for fire protection assessments, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Interim City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. During our workshop earlier this year about, regarding the fire assessment, we discussed a hardship program. The hardship program needs to be memorialized through an ordinance. So we have brought that ordinance here. It's for residents who make 50% or less of HUD's income limits. Those are determined by family size. The family or the property owner would need to make an application. It would be reviewed by the city manager, and then the city manager would make a determination on what whether they qualify for the hardship or not. If they do qualify for the hardship, the resident would pay for the first $185 of the assessment, which they're paying now, which means they wouldn't incur an increase.
And with the hardship program, the question I do have is, where are the funds coming from to cover those who don't have the ability?
They would need to come from the general fund, or there would need to be a fund established to pay for their portion. This could not come from the fire assessment fund. It would have to come from another place.
Okay.
Sure. Have we established the guidelines yet? All the way through?
There have not been any administrative guidelines written. We would need to establish the ordinance first.
Don't we need to know where the funds are gonna come from before we vote on this? He says you can't take it out of that general.
No, you can take this out of the general fund. You can't take it from the fire assessment fund. This can come from the general fund.
Are there, do we know if, there's been so many changes also, even with the CRA and the guidelines for that? Do we know, or have we looked into if there's a possibility, if this does pass, that assistance, it could be likened to, say for instance, the facade grant that we had established, or being that it is a hardship program, would CRA, or has it been determined if something to this affect this program could be subsidized from the CRA?
I'm not sure. That's probably a legal question, whether we can pull from the CRA to subsidize the fire assessment.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm asking is, not that I'm opposed to assisting any resident, I'm just thinking, I don't want to overburden the general fund, knowing that we do have so many other things that probably would be priority in order for the city to continue to function. It's just that if we can determine or explore other means to support a program like this, or if there are any other funding sources out there, programs, grants, other opportunities that could subsidize this program, I definitely would be all in. But for me at this time, to just sign off on it or to, I would need more information and to explore all options of
Certainly.
financially to support the program.
Certainly.
That's my
I agree
perspective.
wholeheartedly on that. I mean, we'll fix numbers. I know, CRA money would have to start limiting the hardship in the business, so it have to be within the CRA limits. So there's some hardships that are not in the CRA, so they would have to eliminate that fund. Plus a budget item of that nature, I think we should table it, consider when the new city manager takes place, so you have input on the budget.
If we take place.
All right. Okay, thank you, sir. Any other further comments or questions in regards to the hardship program for fire assessment? No further questions or comments? I am open to readdressing the program. In my opinion, I'm not saying axe it altogether. I am open to revisiting this at a later time, especially that we do have our budget hearings coming up. But I definitely would be interested in exploring other opportunities or options that could be available that maybe we have not explored, or maybe even entertaining, seeing what other municipalities might be providing for their residents, if there are such things. Do we know if that's the case? Are there any other municipalities who have similar programs and how they supply it?
This verbiage was provided to us from Answer, the advisors who did the fire assessment, and so they framed this off of other cities that have implemented fire hardship programs.
Okay, awesome. Okay, all right. No further questions or comment? What is the will of the commission at this time in regards to ordinance 2024-13 hardship program?
Move to table it till such time as the new city manager will be putting his input into the budget to address.
Okay.
In the meantime, we start doing the research work, finding out any funds, grants, or any other agencies we make it work with.
Okay, all right, thank you, Commissioner Watts. We have a motion on the floor to table the item until the new city manager arrives. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of tabling resolution 2024 dash 2024-13, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Moving down to item M, new business. M1.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, approving change order number 2 for the US 98 Water Utility Relocations Project, authorizing the interim city manager to execute said change order and providing for an effective date.
All right, interim city manager, Mr. King. Tommy?
I can speak on if there's any questions from the commission on.
Okay. Just a moment here. All right. What is, just looking at the timeline impact.
Yeah, so this change order is kind of to set the record straight, because I guess there was a document signed when the contract was put forward, and then with the time sensitivity, they had to reroute. And that wasn't reflected in the documents. So this change order does reflect that change. There was a holdout on a piece of property, so the city had to reroute and run the line back in an alleyway that existed in order to make that happen within that time frame. With just this is not the whole picture. With this change order, it appears that we're incurring extra costs. But I can assure you, Mr. Burke already knows this, there's a change order 3 coming that will actually bring this cost back below even the initial contract amount, and that's because we were able to realize significant savings through some changes in the project and working with the DOT contractor.
Okay, well, that's good.
And I got that amount here as it stands today, barring no other changes. I did bring that proposed change order, but it's not signed. And
Gotcha.
yeah, so that the final change order, once project completion, should put the project total at $634,302, which would be a significant savings from the initial. And I believe this project was one that was an ARPA-funded project initially, so we found out those funds are gone anyway, so the savings will help benefit.
Yes, I do, thank you. And this is in regards to, is this connected with the bridge?
Yeah, so we had to do some sewer work and relocate a water main line to accommodate all that stormwater drainage and everything that's already in place. This water line relocation was part of that project to make that happen.
So I'm looking at the map, and I'm not understanding where this took place at. It says Henry on the map and Broadway Street.
Yeah, so basically there was a small sliver of land that was on the corner of Henry and Broadway. Yes. Yes. So they had to reroute the line south. There's an easement that runs, a utility easement that runs behind those properties, and then bring it back over to Church, and then back north to make that connection, and had to bypass that property owner. But what this has done is it facilitates in the future when because those are empty lots right there where this guy's holding out, we'll be able to tie in services on that utility easement on the backside, so there will not be any FDOT impact in the future or anything when those properties are developed.
Was there any incentives and disincentives in the contract?
I'm not.
The finishing early, finishing late?
No, so there was a penalty that was for finishing late, but in my review of the contract, it looks as if that was scratched out and initialed off by former management. So
And normally there are incentives in there. I wonder if this impact would hamper the contract on that.
right. No, so the even though the project ran behind, the goal was we had to be out of the way of DOT, and we met those goals. And like I said, this project is coming in below the initial contract. So.
Thanks, sir.
Yes.
All right, any further questions for Mr. King? Mr. Tommy King, all right, no further questions? All right. Entertain a motion, for resolution 2024-61.
Move to adopt resolution 2024-61, approve the change order number 2 for the US 98 water utility relocations project.
There's a proper motion, is there a second?
Second.
No further discussion, all in favor of adopting resolution 2024-61, water utility relocation project, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, by sign. Motion carries. Thank you. order the city manager, initial announcement of current power adjustment.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The power cost adjustment has been a discussion of late in the public, and as you know, I've been sending the commission a memo every time we change it with the reason why there's a change. In reviewing the ordinances, it appears that the city is required to read into the minutes when the power cost adjustment is changed. I don't know that there's ever been a record of that happening, and the deputy clerk could not find that as well. So I bring it here to establish this practice of reading the power cost adjustment into the minutes. And if it's okay with Madam Mayor, I'll just read the section that's prepared.
Proceed.
Pursuant to ordinance section 24-1555C, the city manager's office hereby makes the initial announcement that the current power cost adjustment, PCA, charges .048 per kilowatt hour, with the most recent change effective June 1st, 2024. This announcement is being made to establish the practice of including PCA changes in the city commission meeting minutes and to bring the city into compliance with the ordinance.
Thank you. Any further questions from any members of the commission? Or comments? Okay.
What, question, what is our, reason for establishing to raise the cost?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Why are we raising the PCA?
We didn't raise the PCA. We didn't raise it in June. We raised it in March, I believe, because there was an under recovery, or April, yeah, there was an under recovery of $197,000 that we needed to correct.
April.
Correct. I believe in April, it was, let's see. March, we raised it in March. It was .38, and then we raised it to .42 in March. It stayed 4.42 in April, and it looks like it did change to .48, but that was based on Tim Garish's recommendation, so it did go up a few ticks from April to June.
It was .048, 2 months in a row, that was the hazard rate.
Correct. But it's been .48 for 2 months in a row.
I know there's three things that you could raise the PCA for, and I can't remember exactly. I do. A large utility, electric project is one, and power cost itself is one. I'm not sure what the third is, recovery or?
I believe it's, yes, the reason we're changing is because of the under recovery. Yeah, right now, as of my last report, we've under recovered $288,000 so far this year. And we expect to capture more of that the next month, just because of how some of the billing worked out last month.
I know one of the things you cannot do is feed the general fund directly off of it. Okay. Thank you.
I do have a question. What accounts for under recovery? How is it that we were under recovery?
We didn't charge enough on the PCA to begin with, so the PCA was kept low. And we've established how much the electric fund should be delivering to the city. The PCA is part of that calculation. If the city is under recovering their dividend, the payment transfer from the city, we have to make up for it in some ways, and that's done through the power cost adjustment. Did that fully answer your question, Vice Mayor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you anticipate any more raises like this?
I do not. I mean, bulk power has gone down. It looks like when our billing matches up from the last month, we should have some over recovery, or we should recapture some of that under recovery. So I don't see the PCA going up in the immediate future. I mean, if fuel spikes, that could change things, but I don't think that's bound to happen in the immediate future.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any further questions for interim city manager Burke in regards to the BCA? No further questions. All right, thank you so much. I really don't have a report at this time. I don't have a report at this time. So we'll move on to item P. Well, I take that back. I'll take the floor now. I know recently there have been some memos established by interim city manager Burke that have come forth, and we've all received those. I have reached out to legal, but for the record, Attorney Powell, the conversation that you and I had in regards to our role as elected officials in regards to information or claims of misconduct from any member of the commission or any city manager, would you share with the body what our role is as far as in, do we have the authority to police, investigate, remove, unseat any member of this body here on the commission? What will be our role in regards to that?
Okay. I'm going to make it as succinct as possible.
Thank you.
The members of the commission are elected officials, and in that capacity, the members of the commission serve as the directors of the municipal corporation. The members of the commission are not law enforcement. In other words, it is not the charge of the commission, as outlined in the charter, to serve as an investigative body. So, in essence, to the extent that any commissioner, any administrative, legal, or officer of the city becomes aware of a myriad of things, unethical, criminal, or other likewise behavior, there are agencies of the state that are designed and charged to investigate those matters. I did receive Mr. Burke's memorandums, and I've read them, and they are very similar in nature. The memorandums do not include any of the backup, at least my version didn't. To the extent that Mr. Burke or anybody on the dais is privy directly to any legality, there are agencies that are designed to investigate those matters. This commission is not set up to do that. Now, you all may be aware that recently the state of Florida amended its ethical rules concerning ethics complaints. There can be no longer ethics complaints that are filed solely based upon hearsay. So in other words, before, or in the past, before the legislature amended the statutes concerning ethical complaints, you could file a complaint, an ethics complaint, based upon hearsay. You can't do that anymore. You must have direct information concerning that allegation. So in other words, even if you wanted to act upon an allegation contained in a document, at best it would be hearsay. The statute was also amended to provide that local ethics commissions cannot sua sponte or just on their own investigate ethics complaints. So that's just generally where the municipal corporations are concerning these types of allegations. Now, the chart is pretty clear. The commission does have authority to remove one of its members based upon failure to attend meetings and the like. We're all aware that if you miss a certain amount of meetings within a calendar year without certain notice, you know, the charter operates automatically to have that person removed. And that's pretty much the breadth of what your charter is looking for your role in that process of removing one of your membership. So that's generally what we discussed, and I think that's a good discussion. That if any commissioner member wants to have that discussion with me, I'll be more than happy to have that. And I think we've had that Commissioner Williams in the past also.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I just felt it was necessary to let that go on record, that it did come from our legal counsel, what our role is, so that everybody's on the same page. All right, so thank you very much for that. At this time, future agenda items, sir. Oh, yes, report of the attorney, I'm sorry.
Just briefly, I just wanted to collectively inform the commission of what has happened since the special meeting. As you all may remember, back on 22nd of June, we had a special workshop to workshop the new manager's proposed agreement, and the charge was to prepare that agreement and final and deliver to Mr. Dean for his legal counsel's consideration, which was done. The short of it is the contract was executed on July 2nd, and the start date or effective date of the contract is July 22nd.
Thank you. Okay, all right, thank you, sir. Item Q, future agenda items of the commissioners, if any. Are there any future agenda items? Yes, sir.
Before we go on, I'd like to ask a question to legal counsel on that last report. Start date on there was July 22nd, correct?
Right.
If it becomes available to start sooner, could he start sooner?
The contract can be amended to provide for an earlier start date. That would be, that would require a resolution of the commission to do that. I believe when Mr. Dean appeared in the workshop, he indicated that would be the soonest that he could start. That's when we used that date.
Well, he called me, and I don't know if he called the others or not, and said he could take over almost immediately with the remote condition.
I wasn't part of that conversation.
Yeah, well, that would, if the body would like to consider that, he could start as early as tonight.
All right.
Frank, I mean, I'm not calling with, my job is to keep you guys straight and narrow. The start date of a contract is a material term, okay? To amend a material term after that was negotiated, executed by one side, and there's an agreement as to when the start date is, unless that other party is here in the room.
He is not actually.
Yeah, and he's here to agree to change that start date. I just think that would be inappropriate. Well, to change the material term of a contract that was already agreed to without the other party in the, here, to agree or disagree to it. So, yeah, because if we change a material term, which is a start date today, we would then pretty much have to send it back to him for his agreement. And I'm not saying he can tell you that, I'm just saying that here to.
I just relate the condition, what, that he can start under this condition.
Thank you. All right. Okay, future agenda items, item Q, future agenda items for any members of the commission. Again, I would like to refer back to the hardship program. That maybe some due diligence is done in regards to more specific ways it means to support the program. I would like to see that come back for, in the future. It doesn't have to be immediate, but I would like to see that come back in the future. Any other commissioners?
Yes, Madam Mayor,
Vice Mayor.
I believe we've asked for information regarding the renewal of the contract of the Boys and Girls Club with volunteers.
Yes, we did. I think we did a while back, ask about the contract for the Boys and Girls Club.
We did, we did send a memo out on that, I believe in March, that had the terms of the contract. And all the commissioners should have been copied. I can re-forward it to you, Vice Mayor Varian, if you do not have it. Maybe I can find it.
Yeah, it did, we did get that. I don't remember the date.
Yeah, we did send that out March 26th. A full review of that contract, and I'm trying to pull up the terms. You have it? Okay.
I will say since that time, I have spoken with, Steve Giordano, the Boys and Girls Club president. He did call me. I guess word got back to him that we were kicking him out of the community center. I don't know where he got the information. Frankly, it didn't matter. But I did reassure him that I don't know who he's listening to in the city or for me, but that has not been the desire or the will, to my knowledge, of any member here on the commission. No one has verbally expressed that here on the dais. And certainly, that was not my directive. So, I have spoken with him in regards to that. So, hopefully, he seemed to be okay once the conversation ended. Because I don't know about anybody else, but it was an initiative of mine to have them come. So I'm certainly not going to turn around and ask them to leave. Because I do think it is a great benefit to our kids and our community, parents alike. They seem to be taking advantage of the program. And the few kids that I've seen and do know who participate, they thoroughly enjoy their time there. They're growing and learning. But to explore other options, yes, I'm open to exploring other options for them. But by no means am I asking them to leave.
Madam Mayor, it looks like we entered into that contract on May 10th, 2022. It was a 3-year contract. So May 10th, 2025 should be the termination.
Okay, all right. And I imagine we'll probably, being that we're going through our budget and all that, they'll probably be coming back before the commission for some extended terms, so. All right, so we got that. Anything else out here? Okay, all right. Item R, for the good of the order, anyone would like to express or share any good things that are going on in our city today at this time? Commissioner Scale, have anything?
I'd just like to know how the Lanier Road project's coming, because that is a pain.
Yes, it is, sir. It is a pain. I believe I sent out a detailed memo that there were some challenges with the surveys.
What was the result of that? Because you were supposed to meet with them, I think, last Friday.
They were setting the controls last week, and I think they were coming out this week with 2 surveyors, the engineer surveyor and the contractor surveyor. So that additional round of surveys, I believe, are being done this week. Unless I'm mistaken, I thought it was this week.
I know that was what they stated in that meeting, but I had not seen them on-site surveying at this point. But I can follow up tomorrow with engineers.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Vice Mayor Beard.
Yes,
Good.
yeah. Had a phenomenal time at the 4th of July festivities. From the pageant that took place at the high school, The kids came out in droves. We had a lot of numbers, so that was pretty awesome. And they all did their little best and had nice things to say about themselves and, you know, why they want to be Mr. or Miss Firecracker. That was pretty fun to see them light up and do something that they haven't been exposed to in a while. Then we went to the, and when I say we, I'm referring to me and my girls, the golf cart parade, which was pretty awesome. So thank you to our sergeant and his crew, his team, for escorting us with those sirens. The fire department showed up with one of the trucks, maybe two, I'm not sure. But it was awesome. Our VFW led the way, and it was very awesome to have them want to participate. And then they also want to grow their organization, so I thought that was pretty awesome too. And then I finished up at the Patterson Park, which for me never disappoints. And I'm gonna tell you, some of the positive things that I read on Facebook was people coming from all over to watch Fort Meade fireworks display. So kudos to Fort Meade. I hope we keep that going. And maybe Melissa can give us an insight on the fishing tournament. I just couldn't make it to that one. So,
yes, sir, we had about 40 kids participate that came out.
I saw some pictures,
fish, and we had a great turnout. Everybody had a great time. Everybody got a medallion, and then they got first place in each age group for the most fish, and then the overall prize was for the biggest fish. Awesome. But it was really good. Good turnout.
So kudos to the community. Kudos to the community for that. That was awesome. You know, getting together and showing forth our pictures.
It's really awesome to see the same kids come every year. We've been doing it for a few years now, and the same kids come back every year. Yeah. And there's a lot of new faces. Yeah. They look forward to it every year.
Awesome. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner Williams? Nothing? Commissioner White?
I would like to thank Commissioner Berrien about the fireworks display back, they're retired now 6-7 years or so, whatever. And but even back that far, people from all over, because at DOT, we had people all over, Central Florida, even out of Tampa were coming. But people back where they were bragging about Fort Meade being the best. And they would come down here and even though they're having different nights, vacations, they would come here. And I great fourth activities and kudos to the staff.
I guess it was good that Mother Nature didn't rain on our parade this time. Right. Awesome. Thanks to all the staff and volunteers in the city for doing what you do to continue to make our city a great place to live and play and work. And the only thing I would like to see, because I go on and I look for it, so I'm a bit confused how, because I go on social media to look for things, but I don't find like the activities and stuff. I didn't see anything, so I don't know, maybe it's my settings on my page or something, but I looked on the City of Fort Meade's Facebook, and I didn't see anything.
I don't think it's on City of Fort Meade.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know the names of them.
Like the fishing tournament. I didn't see that.
It was on Priscilla's page.
Oh. It was on the city's.
On the city's Facebook, yes, ma'am.
It was on the city, okay. All right, okay, great, that's good. I think maybe we can explore other options, especially like fishing, or just like we do when we have our downtown activities, we put up the signs, the yard signs. I think in regards to that, in some of our things, if we could put up signage throughout the city, so that not only the residents, but those who are driving through can know that, hey, this is what's happening for me, or the possibility of putting a, what do you call it, a display board here, right out in front of City Hall on 98 there, like they do for flywheelers. They put that sign out there and say flywheelers, and we can have something to that effect to announce what we're doing activities in the city, then it could garner people from out of state, or I mean, out of town, to stop in and participate. I think something like that would, because not everybody has social media. And really, I don't think anybody gets a newspaper anymore. So, I'm just saying, that might help.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
through some conversations as we, navigated through that whole process of planning, it has been historically individuals doing that themselves. So I would like to see us as a commission, set aside somebody to assist with that, exactly what you're talking about, the advertisement, so on and so forth, so that those stresses can be lifted from those individuals, and then, we could make it what we want to make it.
Okay. I agree. So, that's a future agenda item. All right, any further comments from any member of the commission or city staff?
I'd like to express thanks, Madam Mayor, if that's okay.
Sure, do so.
This will be my last meeting as the interim city manager. First to you, Madam Mayor, I appreciate your support through these many months. I appreciate your leadership, and knowing that you're always there to help when I need help. So I really want to thank you for that. Vice Mayor Barry, I thank you for your vote that put me here. I do appreciate that. Commissioner Scow, you were the one who encouraged me to put my name in the hat. You called me at my mom's yard twice and said, so thank you for giving me the courage to put my name in. Commissioner Watts, it's been real.
Right.
Commissioner Williams, you're a stand-up guy, and I appreciate you.
Yes.
I also want to thank the staff. This is not the same staff that we had when I started. They are taking accountability. They are being autonomous in their decision making. They're taking ownership in the process, which is exciting to see. I thank the community for their support. I've received a lot of very nice messages from the community by way of social media and just anywhere you go in town. Someone wants to talk to you about the job you're doing. And to my family, thank you so much for allowing me to be a Fort Meade fanatic for these last few months. So I know that I may have been driving them a little nuts, but my family has been a big support over the last few months. So I wanted to end this with a show of gratitude.
And thank you. All right, and with that being said, if there are no further comments or at this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second? There is a motion and a second. No further discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion, opposed, like sign. Motion carries. We are adjourned.
Thank you, Dustin.
Absolutely.